Welcome to third episode of Beer League Sports Banter. I'm your host, Jordan Laustol. To my right, as always, is Lee McLeod, the Rambler. And to my left, as always, is Warren Douglas, super quiet guy.
Producer, though.
Producer.
That's a terrible
Excellent job, producer.
Definitely, our show wouldn't be what it is without his editing skills.
True.
Not
So,
much to it.
what we're going to do this episode, we have our contest winner. I'll introduce him in a second here, but thanks to him for retweeting and the other people out there retweeting, even the ones that didn't want to enter the contest. So this episode, for the first 15 minutes or so, we're going to talk NFL. Then we're going to give, we had a little Twitter questionnaire and Twitter survey that we did. And so we'll kind of run through that quick. And then after that, we'll get into the NHL for 15 minutes or so. And then hopefully we got some time for a little bit of baseball. Just because we had a pretty good baseball conversation today on Twitter. So, Lee, I'm going to hand things over to you for a sec.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank our viewers. We were up to 600 now for our two shows, just about, give or take, about 580. So that's pretty impressive for two shows for basically three idiots with a Best Buy camera in front of us. So we're pretty...
It was the
Shout out to
source.
Best Buy.
It was the
Is it
source.
the source? Okay. So we're pretty happy about that. Like, when Warren first brought this up to me, I kind of just thought, okay, haha, it's one of our ideas that we come up with that we never follow through with. But here we are now, and I enjoy it, actually. It's fun, and I look forward to it every week. And thank you guys for doing it with me. It's been
My
a good
pleasure,
time so
man.
far, and hopefully we've got many more ahead of us. So here we go.
Keep tuning in, folks, please. And please share it with everybody. We want to grow this show to something special. And we promise we're going to try to get better every week.
Yeah.
We've already proven we're way better than we were in the first episode.
Wasn't much
As long
to
as
it.
the camera keeps recording.
That's
None
right.
of us have ever took any classes for
Obviously,
any
yes.
type of, filmography or whatever you want to call it type stuff.
Or
So,
radio broadcast. Or just
anything,
anything.
yeah.
Lee hardly
so-
took classes to begin with.
Yeah, so we're basically just, like I said, we're three idiots sitting in a basement with a camera. So you guys tuning in means a lot to us, and keep watching.
Yes, and keep sharing. Please keep sharing.
We're up to 100 followers on Twitter now.
Just over and
Beer League SB, at Beer League SB.
yes.
Throw it up there on the bottom, and we'll get
Yep.
some followers.
And we're going to keep running the contest every week here for the foreseeable future. What we're going to do with people that don't, want to fly to Weyburn from overseas or really anywhere else, we're going to let you call into the show, and we'll set up a mic and put you on speakerphone or whatever, and just do that sort of thing. But for you guys in town, if you're going to retweet us, which we hope you do, and try to enter this contest, we expect you to be on camera and not chicken out type of thing.
Seat right there for you.
Yeah, we got an
so,
empty seat.
Yeah, expect to see you there.
And you don't have to come in, you don't have to argue with us or whatever. You can just come on the show and pick a topic you want to talk about and just hang out with us, drink some beers or hard liquor like I drink. And just shoot the shit with us like we do every episode. So,
Sounds good.
without any further ado, I want to introduce our episode 3 winner of the contest, Morgan Sanders, a fella I used to work with way back in the day, worked with his dad.
Hey, yo.
Morgan, you want to plug your Twitter handle and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. My name's Morgan Sanders, and my Twitter handle is @morgs1676. And I unknowingly retweeted this episode, not knowing I was entering a contest. So I got a nice surprise from work when buddies were calling me, telling me if I don't come on here, I'm a big pussy. So,
And here you
so
go.
here I am. I couldn't really say no. So yeah, I'm glad to be here, and it's cool what you guys are doing, and I'm proud to be the first guest on here. So.
Hey,
Right
proud
on.
to
Well,
have
we appreciate you coming on the show. And so, Morgan, you wanted, when I texted you to see what you wanted to do, you wanted to talk NFL with us, right?
Yeah, basically, what I understood from the contest was I get to pick someone to argue with a topic about, and judging from the first 2 episodes, I have learned that you can't win an argument with Lee, so I just thought I'd just I knew the Super Bowl would be a topic, and 3 of us guys watched the Super Bowl together with some good discussion, and I just thought I'd hop in on some Super Bowl topics, and if things go well, I'd maybe stay a little later. If you guys kick me off, whatever. So.
Alright,
Well, yeah, if you suck, we're gonna kick you off. Like,
Deal. As long as I'm on the camera to prove that I'm here, I'm cool with that.
You're already better than Lee.
yeah, I'm
So-
gonna replace maybe.
All right, so we're gonna get on to.
Let's go here.
Let's just do a little recap of the Super Bowl and what we thought. Obviously, I lost my bet with Lee McLeod, although it was 14 points the wrong way.
28 points, really, if you look at it that way.
Yeah. But I honestly, I was totally surprised that the Panthers were gonna kind of lay an egg like they did out there. They didn't look good at all.
No, they really didn't. They looked awful. Cam Newton was out of place all game. Defense, they did their job. They held Carolina in it, really.
Yeah.
But
That Carolina defense was very underrated.
yeah,
In that
all
game.
year.
Well, the way
Yeah,
that
it
they
was a
held
good-
Arizona in check and
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you give up, anytime you say that a defense held a team to 194 yards total offense, 9 times out of 10 you're going to say that team won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 24 points is misleading because 14 of those were off turnovers inside the 10-yard line. The first touchdown to make them 7-0 Denver was Cam Newton fumble on his 5, and then of course the last fumble, which he failed to even try to attempt to recover, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
It wasn't even failing attempting to recover. He jumped away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a football player look like such a little bitch. But anyways.
Yeah. Are you going to talk about that now, or just...
Yeah, well, yeah, you keep asking me questions, dude. It's not
You're the host, man.
yeah, we can talk about that now. Cam Newton, well, there's certain, I mean, we have a few things we can talk about with Cam Newton. Well, I think the first thing we should talk about, which, you know, it's been all over the news, is his pretty pitiful press conference he had after his pitiful performance in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying he didn't have such a pitiful performance in the Super Bowl. His receivers let him down, that sort of thing. But he needs to hold his head a little bit higher and act more like a professional when he's getting interviewed like that.
Being the MVP and the supposed new face of the NFL doesn't look good for you.
No, he looked like a little bitch.
Yeah. I mean, I understand losing the Super Bowl. It's tough, I can't imagine, but you still got to do your job as a pro and answer the questions. Don't just sit there with your hood up hiding and saying no, and then getting up and leaving. Like, have some class and at least give somewhat of a little bit of an answer would be, reasonable at least.
I think, too, that goes unlooked a little bit. I'm not agreeing with what Cam Newton did at all, because I don't think he handled it very professionally. But he is only 26. That's probably the biggest game he'll ever lose at this point of his career.
Well, how old was Russell Wilson last year?
Russell Wilson also won one before that, too. I know I'm not defending Cam Newton.
Yeah, but first time there kind of thing.
First time there.
Yeah.
The thing with Cam Newton, everything went right for him all year. He didn't. Lee alluded to this at the Super Bowl party we were at. Like they didn't have the toughest schedule, but regardless, he went 15-1 in the regular season. It takes a special guy to do that, regardless of the schedule. Things weren't going right for him in the Super Bowl. He faced some adversity and
Crumbled?
Didn't face it well. Basically.
Didn't face
Put
it well.
That way.
No.
Not so much crumbling during the game. It's just we're not giving enough credit to Denver's defense. I don't think either.
No, their defense was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable all
Yeah.
year. It's
But the way he handled himself was ridiculous. Like, you can see pictures of him laying
Yeah.
on the field.
Yeah.
They didn't call that PI in the end zone. He's kicking his feet on the ground like he's 7 years old. Like, really?
Yeah,
Is that
You're 26. You're a grown up.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
you're an
I
adult.
mean,
You've been there
Yeah.
for 5 years. You've
He's
been in the league
never,
for 5
he's never
years.
really
When I was
lost.
26,
He won
I
a
was
national
married for
championship at
3
Auburn.
years.
He's never really had to face losing before, really, in a way.
Yeah.
He's pretty much won everywhere he's been. So, yeah, I can see how it was tough for him, but still, you can't act like that. That's just uncalled for.
Well, what he said yesterday in the news was, I'm on the record as being a sore loser. I hate losing. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
Well, there's a difference between being a good loser and a sore loser.
But calling,
basically.
well, I'm just saying, the interview.
Yes.
I mean, nobody's gonna-
Morgan and I talked about this before you guys showed up, and I said I wish I would have watched Peyton Manning's interview after the 2014 Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And Morgan said, Russell Wilson's after last year's.
Yeah.
The guys fucking, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
They stood there, they answered their
Yeah.
questions.
You don't have to be
mean that-
happy.
No, you don't have to be happy, but you got to do your job.
So it
You're a
doesn't hurt
professional
Because
athlete.
now it makes you look like a baby, and now other teams are going to be like, "Hey, next season they're going to be like, hey, Cam Newton." And they're gonna,
Get under your skin and-
it's fuel for other teams, you know. That now they can get under his skin with something like that, saying, "Hey, you're a pussy. Look how you act."
I
You're a bitch."
totally
If you act that way when you're winning and you be like Cam Newton is, somewhat arrogant and that kind of stuff.
No.
What do you want?
What are you, crazy?
To then be a sore loser on top of that is just
Yeah, if you're gonna win high, you gotta lose high too, in a way, right?
Have some class at least
Yeah.
at something in your life.
Yeah,
Yes. Like,
The problem I took from it was late in the fourth quarter there's 4 minutes left in the fourth. We were alluding to it before about the fumble that he missed or didn't go for. He admittedly said that he didn't want to get hurt in the biggest game of his life.
such a pussy.
You never know when you're going to be back in the Super Bowl. He could
Yeah.
never be there again.
He could never
Yeah.
be there.
Never be there again.
He may never be there again, but yeah, that was a big point in the game for me when he didn't go for that fumble. And
I think that's a big point in the game for
Yeah.
everybody. Right?
Oh,
it
yeah.
just added to everything that everybody's saying negative about him. Now it makes him look even worse, and then the press conference makes him look even worse after the not going for the fumble. Like he really buried himself in this game.
Oh, he really did. Yeah,
He's really,
he
yeah.
did. And, you know, the arrogance he showed
And he's
leading
not-
up to the game and everything,
Yeah.
right? Like, he...
Ooh.
Oof,
I'm just looking at the pictures of him in his gold MVP cleats in warm-ups.
Yeah.
he loves himself. Gotta give him that. I wish I loved myself.
A
that
lot
much.
of good athletes have to, though. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be a little bit like that. He takes it a little over
there's a
the top.
thin line between.
Yeah,
confident
Gretzky was
and
totally
cocky.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
I'm not saying every good athlete,
Yeah, I
but
know
a
what
lot
you're
of good
saying.
athletes, like especially guys that are
I-
the
Well,
main position on the
I
team.
think
solo
what we're gonna
players.
do, like we have to allude to what we alluded to, or talk about what we alluded to last week, is that it's American athletes that you see doing that stuff. It's not Canadians that
Yeah.
are pulling that.
The
sort of
loser of
stuff.
the Stanley Cup will still sit at his press conference and have
They still shake hands after the fucking
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I bet your Cam Newton was he even? I didn't even
No,
see
he
was
talked
even
with
on-
Manning after the game.
Oh, did he?
And
I
Manning
didn't see that
actually
part.
said,
Yeah, he
you know,
handled it like a
he's very
class act.
respectful.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he? Oh,
And that's
okay.
the one thing I take away from it.
Okay.
So,
is,
I didn't see that part.
it wasn't a lack in sportsmanship from Cam Newton. It was a lack in professionalism.
That's
from him.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what.
And
that's right.
that fourth quarter fumble to me, if I'm his teammate, and it's a 1-score game, it's 10-6 at that time, and things aren't going your way and you're laying on the sideline. If I'm Luke Kuechly or that Coney that no one's talked about, that Coney Ely that had 3 sacks, an interception, and a forced fumble for Carolina,
Oh.
first player in history to ever do that in a Super Bowl. No one's talking about him.
This kid's prepared. By the way.
If I'm one of those guys
Must be
saying
regular, I think.
if I'm saying one of those defensive guys, and I just held Peyton Manning to 141 yards of offense, under 200 yards total, and I'm sitting there looking at Cam Newton, easily could come back, and he's got lots of time.
Yeah.
He just can't turn the ball over anymore. He's the MVP, and he's acting like that on the sideline. And
Well, that's what he said. He said, I could have got hurt and the game was over. He said that in his interview. No, the game's not over, because if you jump on that and recover it, it's 4th down, you punt it away. If you stop them, you still got a chance to drive down the field and win the game. There's 3
sure.
minutes left, or 3.5 minutes left.
4
When that
minutes.
happened?
4
minutes.
left.
4 minutes.
4
That's
minutes when you turn
lots
that
of
ball.
time. You don't
Tons
give
of
up.
time.
It's a Super Bowl. You don't give up. Like, I don't care who.
Yeah.
I don't care what the situation is. You got all season to rest up. If you get hurt, if you
Yeah.
dive in there and you hurt something, you
We've
got
all
season to
played
heal.
sports where you leave it all out on the field,
Yeah.
especially with your
That's
last
the
game.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Look
Jeez.
at Bergeron 2 years ago, or
Yeah.
whatever, 3 years ago.
There's
playing
actually a-
broken ribs and all
there's
that.
Jack
actually-
McDaniel won Stanley Cup with a broken wrist. He was wearing a cast there. All the Dallas fans know that.
There was actually a Panther on Sunday playing with a broken arm.
He was, yes, exactly, and
I
that's
didn't hear that.
no, yeah, that was
Yeah.
he broke it in against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he do in that game, anyways? Anybody know?
I didn't even.
There was an over/under prop bet on him for 5.5 tackles, and I was going to take the under, but didn't get any value. I didn't look to see how he did.
For who's that?
What's his name? The guy with the broken
Oh,
Tom or linebacker. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
We'll
I
get
should- I
we'll
should
get
know.
our statistics guy on it over
I got a lot of
here.
information in my head, and that's not off the top of my head. But
Thomas Davis.
Thomas Davis. I was close. I said Thomas. So yeah. something.
Anyways, something else that happened in that Super Bowl was in the fourth quarter. Marshawn Lynch, ever the guy who never wants to be in the limelight, always telling reporters that I'm just here because I don't want to get fined or whatever, decides to announce his retirement.
And he didn't even exactly announce it. He just kind of posted something that hinted at it, so everyone talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
we were sitting at the Super Bowl party, and I
Where,
looked
where
at my
was
phone
the
like-
Super Bowl party at?
At Marshall's house.
What? Marshall?
Backen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought we're
Does
not
he have a
pumping
Twitter?
guys.
Twitter?
No, we're not pumping guys unless they donate to our ads.
Yeah, that's true.
We do have to
Okay.
pump Fergal. Remember that for that wave. Cool.
Yeah, but he didn't buy her beer like he
it
was
was
supposed
7
to.
tackles,
Oh.
by the way.
Yeah, I looked it up too. Very good job, work.
Yeah.
7 tackles, so that went over. So that prop bet would have cashed.
With
it.
a
You would've took
nasty
the
look at
over.
his arm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jeez, that's a lot of staples.
Okay.
So yeah, he threw that tweet out with his cleats hanging over a telephone wire and with a emoji giving the peace sign. And you know, either love or hate Marshawn Lynch, and I don't mind him. It's whatever to me, but a lot of people took that the wrong way. It's Peyton's probably going out party. It's the
Pretty
Super Bowl.
classless. Yeah.
You've been there. This is your first year. I haven't been there in 3, and you throw that out in the fourth quarter of a 1-score game. I don't know. Probably not the most best time.
Wait a half an hour.
Yeah. Wait the next day. Like.
Did anybody bring it up during the broadcast though, or no? Just on Twitter?
No, we were just talking about it on Twitter.
I heard some people say that he did it then because he wanted to fly under the radar like he always does and not have people talk about it.
Yeah,
but,
because people don't pay attention to Twitter.
well, yeah, I know, but Super Bowl people, yeah, I know. I can see how that all ties in together. So I don't really believe.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm
You
watching
said that.
sporting events, I'm normally on Twitter to see what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm the
Not
same.
really.
And that would have
Yeah.
popped up, yeah. But so yeah, I don't believe that. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just another situation with 30-year-old retiring, or was he 31, 30-ish?
Running backs are a different
Yeah.
story.
yeah, running backs
Especially,
are a totally
yeah.
different type of
Especially a running back like
Yeah.
him. He had a banged up year.
Yeah, didn't he have a surgery for a hernia or something?
Yeah.
something.
Came back for the divisional
Yeah,
game.
and he's got his ring. What does he need to play for anymore? He's got sponsorships and stuff. He
Good for him.
Going to a classy quarterback, Peyton Manning. The reports, the guesses, I guess, shouldn't say reports. The guy's retiring after a mediocre Super Bowl performance.
Season performance.
Yeah, mediocre season. He's probably one of, if not the all-time greatest. Lee says that Brady's better because he's got more Super Bowls.
That debate will go on forever.
Well,
Ever.
well, in
Forever
our
and ever.
era, they're 1A and 1B.
Solo
Yeah.
players.
Well,
it's-
really, who's better, Brady or Belichick?
They're both very
I don't understand.
they're two of the best
the
quarterbacks
team
in
around
the
you
league.
makes a big difference
Belichick's
in
Right.
winning a Super Bowl.
quite a good coach.
The team around you, when you're the stats leader,
Right, but when you get to 4 Super Bowls and you were only win 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady's lost two, but he's been to 6.
so how much of that is just him and how much of that's his team?
Well, it doesn't really matter when it comes to. Are you really looking at that? That's relevant. I'm just saying that guys win championships that don't necessarily deserve them sometimes.
And Manning doesn't?
He deserved his first one, his second one, his defense won.
The
but
funny thing about
he was
this
the
last one
quarterback
is
for it.
all those years he was winning MVPs, dominating the league, and couldn't win that.
Sucked in the playoffs?
Couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
You want to hear a fun stat?
I do.
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Tom Brady has a 0.5% QB passer rating in the playoffs, higher than Peyton. Fun stat of the day. I learned not too long ago. But anyways, you can't judge a guy too much based on the teams he was with. It was funny and ironic how the years he was dominating, he couldn't get over the hump. This year, he can't throw the ball but 12 yards, and he wins the Super Bowl. It's kind of a little bit of poetic justice in a sense.
It is, yes.
He's the second quarterback ever, or since 1974 at least, to throw more interceptions than touchdown passes throughout the year and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, regular season you can throw.
Not saying he's not a great quarterback. He's obviously just
Well, he's 39
Past his
years
prime.
old,
Yeah.
right?
But he's been throwing ducks for like 4
Yeah.
years.
Okay.
He doesn't have feeling
So-
in his fingers.
No,
The
exactly.
guy had
yeah.
one last hurrah. He won a Super
No, it's
Bowl.
awesome. I'm glad he won a
great.
Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
Yeah.
I couldn't
hope
be
he
happy. I was
retires, though.
pulling for him the whole
Did
game.
it look like Eli was happy?
No, Eli looked disgusting. He looked like somebody stole
Oh,
his favorite toy.
that was the funniest
Literally,
part
it
of
was
the
like
Super Bowl.
Peyton's birthday.
That was
and
the only thing
Peyton
I had.
Manning got a great birthday present, and Eli Manning was just sitting there at him, just mad that he got that good birthday present.
Everybody around was cheering.
Daddy
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
you more again. Peyton totally defended him on ESPN, saying that he was analyzing the defense and just.
Well,
Peyton's
yeah.
a stand-up guy. He defended Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning
He's gonna take
is
his
a
side.
professional.
Yeah. Basically, I'm happy that Peyton Manning got his second
Yes.
ring.
I don't think
'cause
anyone's mad about it.
one ring.
He should probably go on SNL again.
A lot of guys have one ring, but to get that second ring, whether he played good or not, he was still on the field. He still made the calls. He still did
Yeah.
everything to win the game.
Yep.
Basically.
He
Omaha!
didn't lose
Yeah.
the games.
Yeah, he didn't lose the
A
game.
big part of that game for me too was that opening drive that Peyton had. It told me a lot because he comes out firing 6 of his first 8 or whatever, completed that first one to Owen Daniels, and he goes down, marches down the field, puts up 3 points right away. And to me, that was Peyton kind of setting the tone.
Established the
Yeah.
Setting the tone. You're getting
Yeah.
points. Who would have bet that Peyton would have came out and throw it 6 or 8 times or whatever it was?
That's a
Peyton-
veteran quarterback.
No, it's Peyton
Put
telling
Peyton
Cam.
control.
Yeah,
No,
he had a
put
pl-
points on the board.
he,
yeah.
he
Peyton
had a
telling Cam, I'm the man.
Oh, he set a tone basically. Yeah.
He had a plan. He knew what was happening. He could pick up all the blitzes Carolina was throwing at him. C.J. Anderson was picking up blitzes. The old line was picking up blitzes, and Peyton marched her down there. I really wish he would have put her in the end zone right off the hop just to kind of put his
Rushed her
foot down.
himself.
Yeah, because
But-
he's really good at rushing.
But
Prove that.
yeah, it was that was a big moment of the game for me, and I thought it really set the tone for Peyton's last hurrah. I wish at the end of the game he would have just told Tracy Wolfson, "Yep, that was it for me," and walked out of the tunnel. But the guy's got too much class. He wanted to
Didn't want to take anything away from
didn't
Yeah,
want to take because
doesn't wanna
he
know.
didn't win that game.
No.
His defense did.
Yep.
He was just
Yeah.
along for the ride, and I'm glad for him because he's been the driver for a lot of years for a lot of teams that couldn't get her done.
It was classy that he didn't want to do that.
And his
that
team
way.
got it done for him, and I'm glad he's got that second ring.
Well said, Morgan.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to our Twitter shoutouts. I guess we're gonna call this. This was supposed to be sponsored by Way Cool Refrigeration, but they didn't sponsor our beer tonight.
But we're still gonna give him the pump anyways.
Yeah, Way Cool.
So if you need an air conditioner fixed, if you can't take that heat, you call Ferg there. The beer demand will come save you.
It's cold right now, so if you need heat too, you can do that.
Yeah.
Or a water heater.
Yeah, he did my water heater. Looks good.
Anyways.
What was rates? He charge you a lot? Oh, we have viewers.
No,
Anyways.
wonderful rates.
So
Great rates.
what
Good
was
rates
our-
with Ferg.
That's
Way
a good
cool.
question. So our first question that we sent out to our wonderful Twitter followers. Keep on following us, folks.
So we asked, what do you think of the Toronto Maple Leafs former captain, Phaneuf, being traded to the cross-province rival Senators? We had one response.
One.
One.
That's better than I thought we'd get.
Better than none.
Yes, for sure.
Luke Guest said he's not a fan of either squad, but if I was the Toronto Maple Leafs, he'd be a fan of dumping the $7 million worth of contract.
And his Twitter handle's at Mr. Luke Guest. Yeah. Also, we threw out a little bit of a poll.
So we got, what should happen to Kadri after throat slash gesture last night versus the Flames? 14% of you think he should be suspended, and 86% are going for a fine. What do you guys think?
I personally think he's just going to get fined. I don't know.
I think
I read a thing that he's going to get 1 game, but I don't know. I think he's just going to get fined.
I think the average viewer would be very surprised with probably what's said on the ice at a National Hockey
Oh,
League game.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's the gestures the cameras pick up.
Yeah,
It's,
the gesture, yeah, but
But yeah. What he said, no problem with you. Read his lips if you want, basically. But that's said every second of the game.
Yeah.
Goes between
Oh,
guys,
for sure.
right?
No, yeah,
I'm going to
definitely.
kill you, or I'm going to,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
When I used to back up on the bench, I was throwing beaks all the time when I'm opening the door.
You
fucking pussy.
Yeah. But as far yeah, fine. I'm
And then I have to
good
fight
with,
them.
I'm good with the fine. But give him a good fine. Like, these $2,500 fines and these little Peasley fines,
$100,000.
$5,000.
$100,000.
Like, to them, they make $5-6 million a year. What is that to them? That'd be like fining us $4 for something.
Yeah.
Like, make a statement and fine them 10 grand or 15, 20 grand. Give them a game's worth of salary. Because don't suspend them for the game. Say, hey, we're gonna, you don't gotta sit the game out, but you gotta give us your salary and you can play.
Yeah, you're playing this game for free.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
also his
pretty
first
much,
real big dumbass move.
Yeah, but it's a pretty. You can't do that. Like a guy in the NFL.
I know.
Who was that? You guys know off the top of your head last year? I
I
think you got a game for it in the NFL, but that's different than NHL.
Yeah, the NFL.
Yeah.
What's the NFL stand for? The no fun.
Yeah, that's
yes.
true. Yeah,
But
but
the
it's
NHL.
there's no place in the game for that. So if they're gonna make a statement by giving them a big $20,000 fine or something, then do it so it doesn't happen again. Because I don't know, kids watch. You don't want them doing that in their little 8-year-old hockey games. You don't want,
Well, I agree. Like I have a 5-year-old son who.
Yeah, you don't want him out there doing that.
He might do that now.
No,
Yeah.
I guarantee.
He gets angry.
What? What?
The last game I
How
watched.
many 5-year-olds have been in a fight already?
My son.
Cheers to that.
In his defense, he got jumped, but he didn't go down without a fight.
Jeez, I gotta come start watching these games.
Oh, man.
They sound entertaining.
Yeah, God. Well, last game he was playing, he decided to throw a little bit of stick work out, and I was standing behind the glass, and I was like, "Don't do that!" And he looked at me, he was like, "Oh shit, Dad's mad at me."
Or hack the bone, you should be yelling for. If the ref's not looking, hack the bone.
Anyway, so I think we kind of beat this Kadri thing.
So the other Twitter thing we want to do tonight is a shout out to GHAM614, Graham Anderson. He had a good chat with us about some Blue Jays stuff.
Like all day.
Yeah. Good talk,
Yeah,
bud.
it was nice.
He's over in England, I think. United
Yeah.
Kingdom, yeah.
Over in
so
the UK, he's
shout out
coming
to
back to
England.
Canada.
He's
Yeah,
from Canada, he's coming
Canada.
back, yeah.
Yeah. Big Jays fan, eh?
Yeah.
Big Jays fan. I see in his Twitter picture he's wearing a Raptors jersey. We ain't talking about
Yeah,
that
we
shit,
don't
buddy. Just so
Maybe
you know.
in playoffs a bit, but where are we at?
No! What does our
Maybe.
shit say? It says no basketball, no soccer in capital letters.
Okay.
March Madness a little bit.
Definitely no soccer. Basketball's a debatable issue maybe between us three here.
College basketball is a little bit different than the NBA.
Okay.
Just
But if
leave
it's
it at that.
playoffs and it's Raptor season and they're in playoff, okay. If they're
Oh,
in
they're
the
gonna lose in the first
if
fucking
they're
round?
in the NBA finals, we're not gonna talk about them. Come on, like I'm not a Raptor. I don't like basketball. I'm not a Raptors guy. But
Well, you said Timberwolves the first
I know
episode.
that was funny. That was a joke. Actually.
Yeah.
That was a gooder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're really good at joking
that was
when you
a
can
little
barely
too many
talk.
of these that night. I
Yes.
don't even remember doing the show to be honest with you. But anyway,
The Calgary Flames, speaking of Kadri and him getting laid out by Giordano, they decided, a couple of them decided after the Super Bowl to show up hungover to practice, I guess.
that's
And-
the word. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, allegedly they got benched too.
They were late.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
they're
do the
wrestling.
math. Monday morning
Obviously.
practice after the Super Bowl, they show up. One guy's too sick to be on the ice. Come on. do
Well, actually, the
math.
article was Hartley was going to take it easy on him with only a half-hour practice too, so he was being a good guy,
Ooh,
Took
giving him a
advantage of it.
half-hour practice, and they show up 10 minutes before practice, not looking too good. On your,
Yeah.
on
But
your
it's not that hard if
budding
you're there
superstars.
15 minutes before ice time
Yeah,
to
but
get dressed for
I'm
practice.
sure that there's a time that they have to be there before
Yeah,
practice.
you
Like,
They can't
show
show up
Yeah,
5
you
minutes
know,
before.
So they were
10,
late.
28.
It's not the
Yeah,
Beavers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
yeah, it's
we're
not
not
minor
fucking
hockey.
junior A hockey.
They were late, and their dads were in town last night.
Yeah, that's the kicker. Eh?
Yeah.
The dad trip.
Yeah.
Good on Bob Hartley, I say.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it sends a good message to young players, even though you're the star of the team, like Goudreau, Monahan.
Boma.
Yeah, you guys shape up, you
Yeah.
douchers. I like you guys as players, but honestly,
Is it Johnny Hockey or is it Johnny Football now? Who are we looking at here? Eh? What's he going to turn into now? Is this a downhill decline here? Hey Marshall, how is it? What's it going to be? No, I got a problem and I don't. If this, what goes on behind the scenes, we don't know. If they've been late before, maybe they've got warned or fined or something. But if this is an ongoing thing, then yeah, scratch them for the game.
For some reason, I don't think it is.
Well, then why
and
wouldn't there be a
Hartley came
lesser
out
penalty?
afterwards?
because
after
it's a
the
team
game.
rule.
Well, okay, I get
No.
that, but once or twice. I mean, once maybe you can look the other way. But if this is happening all the time, then I completely agree
But
with
no,
scratching them.
no, but I mean, they're young kids. It's a good way to send a message
Right.
to the young kids.
And the rest of the team
Right,
for
yeah.
that.
Fucking
The
right.
year 2 top scoring
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah, you're
Like,
not too good
are
to
set
sit.
up.
Ovechkin slept in. He missed it. He was late or something.
Yeah.
He got sat out for a game too.
And I
But,
think it's good for the team. The team fucking won the next day.
They're
Yeah.
playing.
wow.
If you're gonna
They
scratch
win.
them for any game, you'd
Yeah,
want
not a
the
bad one.
police.
Yeah,
Or the
but
Oilers.
The kicker's at dad's trip though, eh? They're
Oh,
yeah.
watching the game. And yeah, it's like, yeah, no, your son didn't show up because
Yeah.
he's not a real pro yet.
Who
He's
knows,
too
maybe-
immature to be a
Maybe
pro.
dads were out with them partying.
Oh,
Who knows?
likely.
You wouldn't be
I
one bit
don't.
surprised.
Pretty sure if my
Super
dad
Bowl?
showed up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Super Bowl
There'd be some
Sunday.
drinking
Yeah, you're gonna
going
be
down.
watching with your
Yeah.
dad if he's in town. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, they're just a bunch of immature little punks in Calgary, and that's how they run their organization. It looks like. And that's why they're gonna miss the playoffs again.
no.
Yes,
That's not what we're
that is
saying.
why they're gonna miss the playoffs.
Harley then
That's why
came
they're a
out.
one-year wonder last year.
Harley then came out and said that it was
Fuck
just a
you,
one-time
Marshall.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Harley
And
was
they're-
really good in his
yeah.
press conference
Yeah,
after
I'm
the
not
game.
going to continue talking
Hey,
about
he
it. It's
said,
over and done.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I like that he did it publicly. I like that Sportsnet and TSN and everyone was talking about yesterday. These Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan, last ball, you're not bigger than the team. Good on Bob Hartley. It was
Yeah,
well done.
I was. I looked at Twitter yesterday and seen Bob McKenzie tweeted about it, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell happened yesterday?"
I bet on Calgary before I knew all this. I'm sitting there watching these three guys scratch. I was like, oh man, my bets.
Your odds
But then they're playing Toronto, so it's like, well.
should have doubled down.
But it was pretty close at the end. They came back. They almost won the game. It was 4-3 Calgary final, but it was yeah, it was a stressful situation for me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Dion Phaneuf decided to get traded. I guess not really his option. I get it. I'm not. The hard liquor is getting to me already. Anyways, we cut that.
Oh, that's good.
No, that's
That's
I like
good.
that. People will like that. That was good. Anyway, okay.
Anyways,
So,
Phaneuf's gone to Ottawa. 9-player deal.
Big news.
Yeah, it's huge news. And God, is he fucking terrible. Anyways, we'll move on to the Senators fan here to talk about what he thinks.
I don't think it was a bad trade. Obviously, Phaneuf is overpaid.
So bad.
But they wound up with more salary space because of it. They got rid of some guys that aren't even playing in the NHL and still getting paid millions of dollars. So it was a good move from that
For
viewpoint.
who? For like you're
For
talking
Ottawa.
Ottawa?
Yeah, they got rid of $9 million in contracts and gained 7. So over the long term, it's probably not going to be the best trade. But for the next couple, 2-3 years, I think it'll work out for them.
Yeah, they got that $7 million because I think those guys they sent out were their contracts expired at the end of the next year, most of them.
I think 2 years.
Yeah, so they got
Yeah,
this
and
after,
end of
next
next
year.
year.
After next year.
So they got enough on the books till 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe it's a good thing for Phaneuf. I think he went to a place that he was playing too many minutes. He was the captain of Toronto.
Number one D-man when he's not a number.
Yeah,
nine
he's
man.
playing.
Oh,
He's playing in a
pretty
position where he shouldn't be playing. He's a top 4 D man. Would you guys argue that?
Nope.
No, wouldn't argue
He's
that.
top.
He's overpaid.
For sure he is.
Yeah.
He's overpaid for
Yeah.
the position
He's
in.
overpaid, but
A lot of guys are overpaid.
he didn't give himself that
no,
contract.
he didn't ask for
It's not
it.
his fault. He's
No.
getting paid $7
If
million.
someone
million.
offers you $7 million,
Yeah, you
you're
don't
gonna
take
take
it.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's why
I don't
he's a
think I'm
bad
quite
rap.
good enough for 7.
I
I'll
think-
stick with 4.
Yeah. No, I don't want your 7. Yeah, give me 4.
I think it benefits both Dion Phaneuf because he can go to a place now. It was on one of his 10 teams that he could get traded to.
He wants to stay in Canada.
Wanted to stay in Canada. He's going to Ottawa, which is weird that he was on one of his 10 teams for me because it's their rival. But so he goes to a place now where he doesn't have to be that number 1 guy. Eric Carlson's there. He's probably going to be playing. He played tonight with Cece, I think.
I think that's his
Yeah.
partner who they're trying to set him up
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
season.
But
It looks like he
the
had a
thoughts with
terribly
Carlson.
rough night, but
Oh,
It wasn't that bad.
did you look at the
He
highlights?
was even on the night.
No, did you look at the
Yeah,
highlights?
I didn't watch the highlights.
The
yet.
highlights are pretty bad.
My God.
Well, all right, it's his first game. And
Zetterberg
got
he's
turned
got a
around and
break.
fell on his
See, you're one of
ass.
those Dion Phaneuf haters that just cuts him down. Like you were
Hey.
probably loving it when he was in Toronto when he was eating minuses.
No.
He's not an awful D-man.
I'm
he
with ya.
is a top 4 D-man. He was thrown into a spot in Toronto with a shitty team in front of him. Like when you have Bozak and Kadri and Kessel in front of you, you're going to be not a good defensive team. And it's not his fault.
He's the number one guy.
And he's the savior of
Yeah.
Toronto. He's not that
No,
guy.
they never claimed him as.
Wow,
the
he was
savior
their number
of
one
fucking
D-man.
Toronto.
Okay,
That was a Burke move.
If you take Dion Phaneuf and you put him...
Burke's not a great
Okay,
GM.
switch Dion Phaneuf, put him on Boston, put him with Chara, with Bergeron. He probably has a cup. Put him on Chicago. He has a cup. He's not an awful D-man. He was thrown into a shitty
He's not going to bring
spot.
the team down.
No, he's going to help Ottawa. He improves Ottawa drastically, and he's going to make them to be probably one of the only Canadian teams to make the playoffs, I bet you. He will help their team.
Except tonight he looked...
Well, he looked bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't look good sometimes.
First game, new team.
He doesn't look good sometimes. That's not his job. He's a top 4 guy. He's
really
paid like a top 2 guy, but he's not, and that's Toronto's fault. It's not his.
I know.
He's not shitty.
Give him a few games to get acclimated.
No,
He's not great, but he's not terrible. He'll be a top 4 guy.
He's not smart.
He's as good as CeCe.
He's one of the dumbest players in the league. Like, he's dumb.
He's decent.
But he's
his
dumb.
numbers with Toronto, if he wasn't on Toronto last year, they'd have Connor McDavid. Put it that way. Because they probably would have finished dead last and had a better chance of the lottery. So basically, Dion's going to fuck you Toronto Maple Leafs guys out of Connor McDavid if you look at it that way.
And I thought, like this year...
This is like the only time we're going to talk Leafs on the show.
2 years ago, Phaneuf had 31 points, which isn't great, but he was +3 on Toronto.
Yeah, on Toronto.
Best player.
What was he last year? He wasn't minus that much.
Minus 11.
Minus
That's not
11
terrible.
on a team that tanked down the stretch with
2
Phil
years
Kessel
ago?
and Tyler Bozak.
Never lived up to his Calgary days as a
No,
rookie.
he did
No,
not.
Not even.
No.
The only thing that pumped up Dion Phaneuf was Pierre Maguire during the World Juniors, which made
He had a
everyone
good
think
year
that...
in
No,
Calgary.
but it
One or
made
two.
everybody
He
think
had, like,
Dion
Every year in
Phaneuf is-
Calgary was good.
Yeah, he had a couple good... What was he there, 4 years? He had
Why
two-
did
one or two
he
years.
get shipped out of Calgary?
Because he was a problem in the locker room because he was a young, cocky kid, just like Johnny Hockey's
Because
probably
he
going to
was
get shipped
fucking-
out of Calgary and
because
be the
he was-
minors in a couple
He
years.
was fucking his teammates' wives?
He was with Alicia Cuthbert then. Why would you fuck anybody else?
No,
if you're with her?
no. Before that, Iginla beat the shit out of him.
I don't
in the
know.
dressing room.
Allegedly.
That's one of the biggest stories ever.
I'm not
Allegedly.
getting alleged.
Yeah, we don't know what goes on in the
But
locker room.
I also
He
heard
was a
that
50-point D-man.
But
Lupo was also fucking Alicia Cuthbert, apparently, allegedly.
Why would you fuck such an?
I don't know. That's
guy?
that's what the rumors
Brutal.
were. That's what the rumors were. That's Toronto media for you, though. So anyway, But
Toronto media, you're
he's
a joke,
not.
by
He's
the way.
not a terrible D-man. He's in a good spot in Ottawa. He'll get secondary.
Yep.
You know,
Power play, less
pressure.
third, fourth pairing, which is where he's good. And he'll probably succeed in Ottawa. Watch, he'll be good there.
There
Is
is
he worth the
fourth.
$7 million? Probably not.
He's not going to be a 50-point guy.
No. But with the salary they dump, they're dumping salary for this year, next year. So basically, Ottawa's getting Dion Phaneuf next year for $2 million.
If he can continue being a 30 to 40-point defenseman and a plus player,
Yeah.
that's all
Not
they're
playing in
looking
the
Yeah.
limelight.
for. He's going to be on the power play,
Yeah.
so he's got an
You got
opportunity
Carlson
there.
there to be in the
Yeah.
limelight.
Yeah.
He's your
But
captain.
He's your captain.
In the
he's your
long
main
long run, Toronto probably wins because they wanted to dump the $7 million
Yes.
in 3-4 years. From
Yeah.
now.
And
And right
that-
now, Ottawa this year, next year, Ottawa's getting a deal. That Dion Phaneuf on your team for the extra $2 million.
Exactly.
You had to pay
And maybe they
Cowan,
move him after that.
Cowan, Greening, and Mahalik. You would have had to pay $8-9 million.
Back to the Toronto side. If you told me last year at this time that the Leafs could dump Clarkson, Phaneuf, and Kessel, eat $1.2 million of it, and walk away from it scot-free, I would have told you you're nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good on the
Have fun with those bath salts.
Yeah. So they're doing something right in Toronto, I guess. Unloading all
Good
these
on-
shitty contracts.
Well,
Look at,
Seafood
we were talking about this earlier. Look at their front office. Like,
Yeah.
they're nothing but
Well, the
champs.
idiots
They're
they had in there before that signed these guys these
Oh,
deals.
super-
I mean, they're just lucky they got rid of these
they're-
guys for the sake of Toronto, really.
the Leafs
Clarkson.
and Lamoriello and Shanahan, they basically said to their team and their fan base that we got a plan, and our plan is to be shit. Our plan is to hit the skids, trade our best D-man.
Is that the Oilers' plan too?
No, their plan was let's hire ex-Oilers to run our team, even
Yeah.
though they're
And drive them farther into the ground.
yes.
Anyways,
Stupid
back to the
idiot.
How's
Leafs.
Kevin
We're not on
Cavish
Oilers.
doing nowadays?
Back to the
Kevin
Leafs.
Lowe? Yeah. Okay. We're not talking about Oilers.
No, we don't.
No, we don't need to talk about
Wait, we stick to
Please.
one shitty team per episode.
Okay.
Back to the Leafs. So they basically told their fan base that they're going for a high draft pick this year. They haven't had a whole bunch. Morgan Riley's one. He looks like
Yeah.
he's panning out.
Oh, yeah, Morgan Riley's good. What they have this year? Fifth round pick or fifth overall pick? Sorry.
They got Nylander.
Yeah. They should have took Hanneman from.
No, but they
Carolina
got
now. Or last year?
Mitch Marner.
Yeah, they got
Mitch
Marner.
Marner.
Well, why would
fifth,
you say
fifth overall.
Right, yes.
Right?
But I would've
Top
took
5 picks, not bad. Marner looked shitty in the World Junior.
Brady, eh?
But how do you take that as a Leafs player going forward when, if you're Bozak or whoever, how do you take that? Our guys want us to be shitty. They want us playing the right way, but we're obviously not. The pieces aren't in place for us to win games. Maybe they do all right. Who knows? I doubt that's what they want. But
I don't think they're. I don't think as players they're gonna go out and just dive for the
No.
team. You know
I mean,
what
they gave it a shot for 50 games.
and actually they're doing better than I
They
thought
are,
they would.
yeah.
They
they are
are.
doing
They,
better
they
than
play
thought.
hard most
Yeah.
nights.
They
Babcock,
do,
Babcock's got it.
He's totally changed as a
Yeah.
coach. too,
Yeah.
But now they're at a point where they can't make the playoffs. They might have had a chance through 40 games,
Yeah, you
35
can
games.
go so far without
yeah.
talent.
And
then-
now it's reality's kicked in, and it's like we don't have a chance. So
And good for Lou Lamoriello sticking like he's got a vision in mind for this team.
Mhm.
Shanahan too. Babcock, other than backing a truck up to his back door full of money, like he's obviously there for a reason.
By the way, sponsors can do that to us.
yeah, we got a door right
Yeah,
there. If you
lots
back
of
that truck
doors.
up.
You can go right through the fence.
Yeah.
if you
Back
got
it
money.
up.
We're not going to say names, but if you back that truck up, we will. So,
Yikes.
there you go.
Except for Way Cool beer.
Yeah.
We had a sponsorship deal
Yeah.
on Twitter. Totally.
So if
Anyways.
you want to @pump company name, Twitter handle, then let's see that dump truck outside.
That's right. Or alcohol.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, we like
I'll take
liquor.
that. Why not?
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
Okay,
sorry,
we-
Morgan.
yeah.
We can-
Well, you guys got me.
Look, we're
Sorry.
we're more
We just
concerned
screwed
about-
up.
I'm listening to you guys.
We're trying to make some money.
Sponsorship.
But
So it's
anyways,
good for, the bottom line is it's good for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Good for the Leafs. They got rid of that contract.
no,
Good for the Sens. They got a top 4 D-man.
At a
We all can
discount,
agree on that.
basically.
At a discount.
Yeah,
They
but
got
they-
him for a little longer. The term's a little sticky, but I think it helps both teams in the long run. I would be interested to see how, like I said before, the players of Toronto, like how does this affect a guy like a developing D-man like Morgan Riley? He's got to eat more minutes now. They obviously got a plan in place to help these kids develop, but I would think that
If they're not worried about winning games, though, he doesn't really have to eat more minutes.
that's true.
They can
But
just split it equally.
you don't want a kid not developing either. You want your probably the kid that's going to wear the cap.
But you
in
don't
my
want them
eyes.
to eat a bunch of have.
Well, what do
just
you guys
struggle
think
playing
Well, that's what
Hey,
Yeah.
what do you guys
So-
think about Bufflin's signing?
Love it.
I love it too. I think that was Winnipeg's first choice was to sign Buff before that.
And it makes sense.
I like the term. It's
Yeah.
perfect. The 5-year term is perfect.
Mhm.
The 38 million, 7.5 a year is a little steep, but when I first looked at it, I thought it was way too much per year. But if you look at the big picture, Buffin's 30. He's going to be there until he's 35 when the contract runs out. So basically, it's take a 5-year deal at 7.6, or you could have had him for 6 or 7 years at 6.5 million.
The
And-
way it works out though is the first 4 years is 8.
million.
Well, okay,
And then-
well, whatever.
Last year's
seven,
Yeah,
six,
okay,
six
that's
a year.
The average is
That
7.
makes him easier to move
Right.
in his last year, too.
Right, but
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is you only want Buffin for 5 years. The guy's 6'5", 260 pounds. Do you really
Yeah.
want him playing for you when he's 37?
No.
got
Probably
great-
not.
No,
So,
no,
He's
no.
got
I-
great aerobic and...
No, he does. He's look
Are
at
you
him.
kidding?
He's
He
a fat
plays like
ass.
26 minutes a night and he's fast
Doesn't matter
as
what.
shit.
I like the
He's
team.
the
the fastest
skater
skater.
competition. He's a fast guy and he's
The
big.
5-year deal is perfect. If it was 6 or 7 years, I would have been like, "What are you guys doing?" Because teams just bury themselves in bad contracts. Hence Swinov's contract. Like he's getting up there now. Bufflin's 30. Yeah, he's young right now. But do you really want to sign him to an 8-year deal until he's 38? I don't want Dustin
No.
Bufflin playing on my team when he's 38 years old. There's no
Probably.
way. He'll be a mess. Look at the guy.
Yeah.
There's no way. But I like the term. I don't think he's worth that much per year per se. But when
Look
you're
at-
getting a deal in
Compare
term,
that to other contracts.
compare that to other contracts.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty makes $7 million. Duncan Keith makes $5.5. Weber makes 7 and change. Sutter makes 7 and change. Bufflin's the 3rd highest paid defenseman in the league right now,
You
and
don't-
he's not worth it. I don't
Sutter
think.
makes 7.5.
Yeah,
You got to take
Letang
into,
makes
you gotta
7
take
and a
into
quarter.
consideration when these contracts were signed.
And this is
right. A
2016.
couple years ago.
Those are a
Okay.
couple years ago. Contracts
Okay.
go up.
Duncan
Time
Keith
goes
was
on.
signed to that deal, and
I
it's
know
like
that,
the
that
biggest
was one of
deal.
those. I know that was
Yeah.
one of those ones. I know. I just said throw it out there, but basically he's
And
the,
look at Bufflin's stats.
he's the 3rd highest paid defenseman right now. Is he the 3rd best defenseman in the league?
No, but when
No.
any of those guys resign, they're getting more than what they get now.
Yeah. If you
Yes.
when
Any
you
of
sign
them.
Shea Weber for
Yes.
right now.
Like I said,
By the way,
I like the term. 5 years.
The only real overpaid guy is Subban.
Oh, he's way overpaid. $9 million a year
Yeah.
for that guy? Are you kidding me, Montreal? Jeez.
Let's,
7.
Hey, let's
Hey,
go around the
ridiculous.
table and go through our top 5 D-men. Warren?
You gotta go with Weber.
Payroll or what?
Weber-
No,
Doughty.
your top 5 D-men in the league. Or
Oh.
let's go top 4. How about that?
Weber, Doughty,
I
Keith.
guarantee Bufflin's not in any of our top fives, but
He's close though. He's on the fringe. Like you got Weber, Doughty, Keith, and Carlson.
I got Keith, Weber, Oliver, Ekman, Larson. I'm gonna get hated on, but I love the way Buff plays. I watch a lot of Jets games.
Yeah.
Man,
I would hate to play against that guy.
he plays so.
hey, look at everything. Health-wise, he's hurt every year. He misses 8-10 games every year. For the last 5 years, he has played 71.
That's not
The
bad.
lockout year, he played 40. Only missed 8 games that year. That was a shortened season.
7 or 8 games isn't a big deal.
It's really not. That's all.
When
That's
you're 30 years old and you're missing
Well,
that many
that's
games
all
already,
my-
what's going to happen when he's 35 and he's only playing 40 games a year?
that's minor maintenance.
It's not minor maintenance. It's serious
When
shit.
you play like he plays,
Yeah.
He plays a hard game.
Yes.
Exactly. He's going to get hurt. So
So you only signed him for 5 years.
I like the 5 year. I wouldn't go any more. I wouldn't go 6 or 7 like some of these contracts are now.
No, but so what's
That's
wrong?
why they did.
I can live with the 5 years.
that's why they did.
They needed to
Okay.
make
We'll continue on with this.
but Winnipeg,
D-man stuff.
Winnipeg. Just before we go, Winnipeg needed to make a statement that
Yeah.
people want to stay in Winnipeg.
That was big for the city of Winnipeg.
Huge.
That
And to
was big.
sign a guy like Bufflin, who's a star,
And
in
he
the,
said he wanted to stay there.
that's right.
Star, borderline star.
He's a star in the end.
He's never. How many All-Star games has he played? Was he even in talks of the
All-Star
Olympics?
games don't mean
Okay,
Was he even in
shit.
talks?
Thank you.
Was he in
Thank
talks at the Olympics last year?
You're the biggest.
Sidney
Was
Crosby
he
wasn't.
even? Was he even on the roster for the Olympic team? No, he was probably the 12th guy in the Olympic team.
Yeah,
He's
John,
not a top 3, getting paid $7.6 million a year D-man. He's not.
So what would
What
you? What would
say?
you give him?
Well, I like the term, like I said, but if I would have had to give him 6 at maybe 40, I would have did that. I would have gave him that.
So you'd want the extra year on?
extra year.
Yeah, and then I'd cut back on my salary cap for each year, shave off $500,000 on that, and I give it to the lad and make him stay.
If Bufflin,
They still have room to sign.
I know they have room to sign him, but it doesn't sound like they are. I don't know why they're not.
if
They
Bufflin
will.
went to the
They
market,
will.
if Bufflin went to market this year, he could have got an extra year at 7.6.
Oh,
Or at
problems
least
for some idiot. Some
7.2
some
or-
idiot
Who's your
GM.
top 4?
Shea Weber, Drew Doughty. I can't believe neither of them won a Norris yet. It
Yeah, it's
blows my
stupid.
mind.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Ridiculous.
I think
Give it
it's
to Carlson
a lot
every
of
year.
it for Doughty is because he plays out west, I think. But Doughty, Keith, Weber, Oliver Ekman Larson, he's very underrated in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, he's so good.
And I don't know.
Screw you, LLUA.
PK doesn't get a whole lot of love, but he's a very good D-man. Not a
He is
$9
very
million worth D-man, but he's still a very good
Yeah.
D-man. I would say that's my top 5. Seabrook, very underrated two-way defenseman that
He gets
I
a
just-
lot of power play
I
points.
just remember watching Keith play in the Team Canada inter-squad game a couple years ago, and he was the best player on the ice.
Oh.
With Crosby and all these other guys out there, and Keith looked like the best player on the ice.
Yeah. Lee, your top 4?
I got Weber, Keith, Doughty, and probably got Ryan Suter in there.
that's good.
yeah, that's,
he's
I'm
a
not,
eater.
not gonna argue that. If the
And
guy eats
his
up
contract
35
wasn't
minutes
that long ago. It was 2 years ago, and he's at 7.5. Would you rather have him or Buffalo on your team?
He doesn't put up the offense Buff does, though.
Not at all.
No, but he's way better defensively.
But would you pay a,
Yeah,
a
you
purely
have to-
shutdown D-man?
Yep.
A purely shutdown D-man? Say
Well,
he
he puts
puts
up
up
a little offense. He doesn't play power play and all that
We-
other stuff.
Paul Coffey.
Break it down over 30 teams, though.
No, I.
What did I say a
That's
few weeks ago?
60.
You need that shutdown D-man to win the Stanley Cup.
That's-
It's Dustin Bufflin, your shutdown
but
D-man.
listen,
by
a
himself.
shutdown D-man.
By
A
himself to
shutdown
win a cup.
D-man is different than a good two-way D-man.
Okay,
Not in the playoff time, it
But
ain't.
that's 60 D-men
Well,
that
what'd
are
you
going
say
to be
Duncan
making over
Keith is?
$5 million.
Duncan Keith,
Is a two-way defenseman.
yes.
you
Brandon
got
Seabrook,
Seabrook
same
with
thing.
them.
Yeah.
But they're both
They
the
can
same
put up
thing.
points and, they
together,
can shut you down.
Together, well, right.
Drew
But
Doughty's
Dustin
the
Bufflin
same.
doesn't have anybody else to
Listen,
play with.
hold
He's by
on.
himself.
Listen. I
You got
was
Tyler Myers going to win
listen.
you a cup.
Listen.
Okay.
I was just at a sportsman dinner in Weyburn, and Paul Coffey was one of the guest speakers. Paul Coffey talked about the difference between playing now compared to playing back in the 80s, and the reason why he tried tried so hard to get so many points was because to get paid, you have to score points. What does Bufflin do for the Jets?
Puts up points.
Puts up points. He's getting
And
paid
creates
because
offense.
he's
Well,
a
moderate,
D-man.
yeah, at an
Even
okay
if,
rate.
even if he's not scoring himself,
Well, okay,
he's
he'll-
creating that
He'll
offense.
put up points, but Winnipeg's never going to win the cup. So
He's moving the puck
basically,
up the
you got
ice
5
and he's
years
the
of him
third
scoring
pass.
20 goals with no cup. So do you want that, I guess?
He's got years to build.
Okay, so if you don't have Bufflin, does Winnipeg win the cup?
No, but you could
Then
use
the-
the $7.5 million on your captain maybe and re-sign him for sure.
But you rather have
You can
what
sign
is worth
both.
more? What is worth more? A arguably top 3 pairing right-handed shot, 250-pound defenseman, or an aging left winger that's your captain?
They're
Thank
both
you.
aging right now. They're the same age, and
Yep.
Bufflin's more banged up than Ladd is. Ladd doesn't miss games.
When did Bufflin get hurt? Am I missing something? Did he
Pull
break
up
his
his
fucking
numbers.
neck?
He's only played.
He's gotten minor.
He's
injuries
played
here and there.
71 games, 68 games. He misses 12, 14 games
I'm looking
every
at him
year,
right
and he's
here.
only
Except
getting
for 2
older.
years ago, he missed
69,
3 games.
78.
Yeah.
He had 43 in the lockout, 66,
66.
81, 82.
Yeah, that was back
77.
when he was 20 years old. You can't go back to
So he had one
1999.
game where he played.
Or, you
He
know,
played less than he had 1 year where he played less than 70 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he played, how many, he played 71 or 72. Still missing 9 or 10 games. That's still a month of the year. Well,
Not in a
yeah,
row
tell
though.
me.
You miss a game every
He's
now and
around
then. Everyone
70 a
misses
couple
a
of
game
seasons.
every now
Yeah,
and
he's
then.
around 70, exactly. So, and he's only 30 right now. And he's 6'5", 265 pounds. So how long is that guy going to hold up for? Just wait. 3 years into this contract, he'll be
6'5".
injuries.
3 years in this contract, you'll be thinking he didn't go to 6.
He won't be playing 82.
Just because he's not
he won't be playing
a ripped,
82
muscular
games.
guy doesn't mean he's out of shape.
Well, yes, but he's had injury problems in the past, so...
List some of these. I want to hear
You're
some of
on
these
the-
injuries.
Well, I don't know what they are. I'll pull up his fucking stats in front of me. I don't know exactly what the injuries are. I didn't look
Unless
into
it's
him.
like a concussion
I'm
injury
not a big
or
Dustin
like a
Bufflin guy.
chronic knee injury. I don't think 10 games in
Well,
a
do the
year.
math. Anybody that's overweight and that big gets hurt easier than a guy that's
Who
6
says
foot
that's
2.
not overweight?
He's way overweight. He's 6'5", 265 pounds.
What?
How many guys play in the
Time
NHL
out.
that are
Listen,
265
okay,
pounds?
hold
Look
on,
at big country
forever.
in the UFC.
Just
What
Big
about
fat
big
guy,
country in
and
the
he
UFC?
fucking fights for 15
Okay.
minutes
Yeah.
without even losing his breath.
Once a year.
what
He
does
doesn't play 82 games in a
He
year.
runs 20 miles and.
Bufflin,
Hey.
67
You're
games,
crazy.
66, 43, 78, 65, 69. So yeah, he missed 12 last year.
3
Actually,
the
he
year
only missed
before.
4 the year before.
3.
Yeah.
And he missed 5 lockout year, and he missed
Okay,
16.
Lee. Chris Letang makes 7.25.
Is
How
he
many
worth it?
games a year does he miss?
He's not worth it. I'm not saying he's worth it.
Duncan Keith missed a month of the year too, right? This year.
Well, that was his first time he's been hurt in how many years? Ever?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if he went on there, he's been hurt.
He'd
more
probably
than that.
miss 10 games a year.
Okay,
like
but-
Bufflin.
I'm just saying. Give
You
him
have
a brand new, fresh contract with 30-year-old with injury histories.
you have
Not
3
major
people
injury
against
history,
you.
so.
Learn to shut
All right,
up.
fine. I'll shut up.
Keith missed
No,
5,
whatever.
8, 3, and a
Keith's-
couple here and there.
Well, right. That's not 14 games a year, which Bufflin's done a couple
Same, he's
times.
been hurt a few
Okay.
times.
And
I-
Duncan Keith are about the same age, are they? I'm not sure Duncan Keith's age.
He's my
Yeah,
age, 32.
32.
Okay, so they're about the same age.
Bufflin or Keith makes so little.
Yeah, that was a hell of a contract for Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
could you
Steve.
imagine being Keith going, you know, I'm one of the best, if not the best defenseman in the league, and 2 guys on my team make $5 million a year more than I do. I'd be pissed.
But is he getting paid till he's like 40-something, probably? Is it like a 12-year deal or...
Oh, I have no idea.
That's
It was a longer
like
one at the
Kovalchuk
time.
deal, like he's getting
Yeah.
paid till he's 45 or something kind of thing.
And that was the
Maybe
big thing
Keith
with-
should retire, go to Russia for a year, come back.
Maybe he should, yeah.
Anyways,
Okay,
so
well, anyways, the Buffalo contract is... I'm okay with the term. The money I'm not, but...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was,
so.
I'm,
It is what it
I'm
is.
okay with the term. I'm kind of the same as you, Lee. I think the money's fair. I'll say it that way.
there's not a whole lot
Yeah.
of $8
No.
million defensemen.
Well,
thing-
no, and he shouldn't be close to that. He's not a top
You
5.
pay your
we
top
went around the
D-man.
table. None of us had him in our top 5.
But these guys signed their
He's
contract
definitely
Yeah,
top 10.
but
at different
But
times.
one guy all of us had in, it doesn't get paid like a top 5.
True enough. He's in your top 6 then?
I love watching
Pretty
Dustin
close.
Bufflin play hockey.
He might be 6.
Okay.
He's
Well, that's
enjoyable.
for viewers to decide,
So-
I guess.
Yesterday on the news, or not on the news, but just in sports, the best goaltender ever to play the game got his jersey retired. That's why I'm wearing my jersey tonight. We talked about it on episode 2.
Possible best goaltender.
No, guaranteed.
Debatable best goaltender.
Because stats lie. Anyways, that
Championships don't.
Stanley Cups don't.
yeah, 3 Stanley
Peyton
Cups.
Manning leads every stat, but Tom Brady's still better because he's got more rings. Patty Wah's got more rings. Sorry, I don't want to ruin your
Alright,
parade.
continue on.
That's the only reason why I'm not somewhat dressed up tonight. Just because of Martin Brodeur. He was my idol as a kid. The only thing I didn't like was him, banging his sister-in-law, whatever.
Should have.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Gotta throw allegedly on this show.
but he is hooked up with her now, like married to his sister-in-law.
That was her?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. He was cheating on his wife with the chick who was on the ice with him.
Jesus.
So whose kids are those?
His ex-wife's, and then I think if there was the
They had a
little,
little kid there, like
yeah,
a
the
5
little one
Yeah,
was his with his
yeah.
sister-in-law. Yeah.
Oh, really? Gee, that's
Interesting.
a weird- What is that situation then? You're my aunt and stepmom?
Yeah.
Or no, you're my... How'd that work? Aunt and stepmom at the same time? I guess,
I
eh?
guess so. Yeah.
Just to throw this in there, Keith's contract is 13 years.
Oh, is it?
Oh my God.
Till 2023.
When did he sign it?
2010.
Jesus. Anyways, yeah. So Marty Roeder, I love you.
It was a good ceremony.
It was awesome. Enjoy your statue in outside the Prudential Center. It's a beautiful statue. Think of the lights of Gretzky and Michael Jordan. All the big names in sports get statues. It's pretty amazing.
It was a really good ceremony.
And pretty classy of him, too. He took out a full-page ad in the paper thanking all the jersey.
I like that he
fans.
thanked the fans for saying, Marty's better.
How awesome would that be?
That's so cool. Because
Did
he
you see
is
the-
better
Did
than
you see
every
the-
other goalie.
The Lou Lamoriello and the Gary
Yeah,
Bettman
Gary-
thing?
yeah,
they
that was
looed
so-
him and booed him, and
yeah.
he's like, Lou Lamoriello's like, yeah, that's not the same reception.
Not the same.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was good, actually.
Yeah.
No, it was a really good ceremony. It was probably the best ones I've seen.
That was really good.
I went to the Mike Modano one live in person here. Got the hat from there, and the Marty Brewer one blew that one away. Like it wasn't even close.
If price of oil was better, I would have been in New Jersey.
And they played
last
Edmonton.
night.
That's pretty.
That was a good game. It was a good
It
game.
was a good game.
Yeah.
Schneider's so good.
Yeah.
Not as good as Marty. No one will ever be as good as Marty.
Neither is Cam Talbot. Put it that way.
Yeah.
He's on my
That was a
team.
good
But you're
game.
trying to
That was a
offload him
hell
on
of a
me.
That's right. He's gonna be good.
Cam Talbot, really? Cam Talbot?
Oh yeah, he'll be fine on the Oilers.
No, I guess
He
gets
played
by
really
one.
good with the Rangers last year.
Yeah, the Rangers. They're pretty solid defensively.
Yeah. Well, if the Oilers were solid defensively,
Hey, I'll tell you this.
Any goalie would be good.
He until like that
2 games in a row.
2 games, but he only started the one, so he came in relief. But he was
Still at a 4 in a
top
row.
10 in save percentage in the league
Yeah, no,
on a shit team.
and he's
So that tells you something.
and he's
Like a
on
Corpus
Kentucky
Owl.
Fried Turkey. So today on Twitter, we had a lengthy baseball conversation with Graham Anderson. Thanks for following us on the Twitter at gham614. I know I said
You
the
sound like
Twitter.
a grandma on the Twitter.
That's what I meant to do. The Twitter, the Facebook, the drugs. Stay off the drugs. Anyways,
It's all legal here. We're good.
what started it all was he decided to. He was tweeting with another guy and got into a batting order conversation, and I basically tweeted him back and said, "No, you guys are wrong." And then he messaged us a bunch throughout the day, and I think we converted him. I hope we converted him because putting Travis and Pilar at the top of the order. Sorry, Graham, but no. Anyways, so what has brought us, or what topic I guess we're going to talk about is Josh Donaldson getting his couple-year deal. Jays signed him to 2 years, $29 million. The way I look at it is, it's 11 and a half the first, and then 17 the next. And Jays still have club control the next year after that, which means they're going to go to arbitration or sign him to an extension. Which this 2 year deal is a smart deal. I've read some bad stuff on Twitter. You guys are wrong, basically.
It's nice to get done. It's nice to get that deal
Yeah,
done.
this leaves him 2 years to see
I like
if
what
he's not a
Shapiro-
1 year hit, 1 year wonder, and he doesn't have a contract looming over his head or arbitration looming over his head. Let's see what this guy can do. I mean, shit, MVP of the league. Let's give the guy a chance, and let's put him in the one hole to start the season. That's my opinion.
So,
Anyways,
well, I like what Shapiro and his Atkins and his Cleveland Gooeyes are.
Jays fans, give Shapiro a chance.
Yeah,
That's all I ask.
I like what they did here. Basically, you got a guy. He's been in the majors for 3 years. He struggled to get there till he was 27. Finally cracked it. He had a decent year with Oakland. His last year with Oakland before he got traded, he had a really good year. His last year with Toronto, really good. He won the MVP. But let's face it, the guy only has 3 years of MLB experience. So, do you really want to throw 8 years and whatever at him, 160 million, give him 20 million a year, and then all of a sudden find out in 3 years that he's not the guy that you think he is? I like the steps they're taking. I like the 2-year deal. It makes him play for that next contract. So if you want to get paid again, you better perform, basically, is what it's going to come down to. There's been so many terrible deals, mostly in baseball, some in hockey, the Wade Redden deal, and a bunch of these ridiculous deals that the guy has.
Rick DiPietro.
Well, that's yeah, okay.
Oh,
that's a little bit different. Well, right, but that wasn't. He never really had a good year. But
who was the captain of the Senators? Alexei Yashin.
Oh, Alexei Yashin. They're still paying Alexei Yashin. But there's so many terrible contracts in professional sports. I don't understand these idiot GMs and what they're doing half the time. Like,
For a little while.
yes, he won the MVP, but let the guy establish himself. Like, you really want to have a 10-year deal with a guy who you're, like a Elvis Andrus or a Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard won the MVP, and he got a huge $125 million. He can hardly stay on the field anymore. I'm not ripping Josh Donaldson. See, this is where I'm going to get criticized for not being a Blue Jays fan, but I'm just saying it how it is. Like, I like Josh Donaldson. I think he's a great player. I've never seen anybody barehand as many balls at third and throw it over. And
I've seen you barehand lots of balls.
I know, and dive into the stands and play with such heart. But you know what? I like the deal. Give him 2 years at what he's getting. Go to arbitration for that 3rd year. If he is who you think he is and who he is today, and he performs and he hits 30 home runs and he hits 280 and he drives it 100 and something, then yeah, give him an extension when he's 32 for a few years. But right now, there's just I have my concerns with him. I'm not going to say he's going to have a bad year, but he's not going to have as good a year as he did last year. Guaranteed.
2 years is
guaranteed.
And the fact that they have club control after that.
Yeah. For that extra year,
Yeah,
and go to arbitration then, and if he gets his $20 million, pay us $20 million, and just sign him.
Or
If
do
he's
you
that
work out
good,
an extension?
if he's that good, then sign an extension. Like I said, I'm not a Donaldson hater. I like him. He's probably my favorite player on the Blue Jays. Like, he actually has heart. He doesn't argue with umps about third strikes and lay up on fly balls and then blame his second baseman for not coming back hard enough, like some of the players on the Blue Jays tend to do.
You know what?
I'm gonna name names.
On Saturday, at the sportsman dinner I was at with Paul Coffey, I had one of the greatest nights of my life talking with Greg Zahn, listening to him talk baseball. I threw out some arguments at him. He shot him down. Friends of mine, Josh Gradiville, Tyrell Hansen, other big baseball guys threw out arguments at him. He shot them down too. It was an enjoyable.
I tried to get along with Greg Zahn. I should have went to this thing.
No,
He'd
it was
probably be
awesome.
buzzed right now.
Greg Zahn.
Hey, Greg.
Greg Zahn, definitely one of the coolest guys I have ever met in my life.
Well, there you go. He'd definitely be buzzed then.
No, you're not one of the coolest guys I've
Oh,
ever met.
pretty sure. I'm probably top 5. Am I in the Bufflin category? Like top 6 at least?
No, you're not even bubble.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Keep going with your Red Wing dinner thing. Sorry.
Anyways, so good on the Weyburn Red Wings for getting those two guys to come. Like I said, it was one of the best nights of my life. I'll for sure go to another Red Wing supper.
And after hearing these stories, I'll go to one too.
Oh, definitely. If they can get more speakers like Zahn, and even Coffey was a great public speaker, and he came down and he just didn't hang out as long as Zahn. Nobody could hang out as long as Zahn.
I heard Zahn was a trooper that night.
Anyways, yeah. So, good on the Weyburn Red Wings. Support your local hockey teams. support your local baseball teams, whatever you have. Just support them, keep them going, because they aren't rich. Let's keep our local team strong, and we will on this show hopefully do some more local sporting news, and especially with our girls hockey team, our midget AAA girls team hosting national championships. We're gonna have
Defending champions,
Competing,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago?
2 years
Defending
ago.
national champions.
Weyburn Goldwings. They hey,
You knew
it's
they
all
won.
right. Yeah,
I really want.
it's be proud of
used
your
to be
teams
droughts.
and go
Yeah.
out and watch the games.
Yeah, junior A, junior B doesn't matter. Just go
Yep.
support them because they need bucks basically.
Darn right. And so do we. Sponsors.
Yeah, yeah. Way cool refrigeration.
Yeah.
There's another one for
Flex
you.
Energy.
Hey, you didn't pay us from last week.
No, he didn't pay us.
No Flex Energy.
So-
Don't call him.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode
Yeah, we gotta
of Beer League Sports Banner. We're going to be shooting next week's episode on Tuesday. I'm not sure what the date is.
Next
I'm
week.
going to go 16th of February.
Today's 10th, so yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
16th.
Sound good?
We're going to shoot that, hopefully have it up. Anyways, I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to Morgan Sanders. Thank you, sir.
Good work.
Hey,
Thank you
Good.
very much, buddy. I
Good
betcha.
fun.
We'll get
It's
you
a lot
back.
of fun.
Yeah, I'm super glad you
If
came
you guys
on.
ever need an Oilers
If you like him,
correspondent-
send us a tweet. Maybe
Yeah.
we can get him on a little more often.
Next time you gotta bring your own booze, though.
Yeah. BYOB.
And I'm putting a rule because he kind of stinks. Sorry, that's not nice. Yeah, you gotta. You can't be a back-to-back winner of the contest, or unless you shower.
We don't have quite enough engines.
Jesus.
Where the fuck is this coming from?
Anyways, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.